Welcome to the new year, friends. Here on the Uplevel Dairy Podcast, we are kicking off 2024 with a series each day this week, revisiting our guests from last year who shared their one word for 2023. Get ready to get into the minds and the hearts of these dairy leaders, whom I also call friends, and hear how their one word transformed them in 2023 and the word they have chosen to live by in 2024 on the Uplevel Dairy Podcast. This is the podcast for dairy farm owners, managers, and advisors who are committed to profitability, sustainability, and excellence. I'm your host, Peggy Coffeen, and it's my mission to bring you the conversations that will up-level your skill set and your mindset so you can be a top performer in the dairy farming business. And speaking of top performers, I'm joined today by Travis Speirs from Shiloh Dairy in Brillion, Wisconsin. Hear his reflection from the past year and what's in store in 2024. So last year, we sat down, Travis, and you talked about your one word for 2023. And do you remember what your word was?
It's hanging up on the wall beside me.
Is it?
Yep. Jennifer got the nail out and mounted it for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, no, I've been able to look at it every day.
Yeah. And it was?
Opportunistic.
Opportunistic. Okay, so you've had it on the wall. It's been in front of you, in front of mind for the past year. How did it play out? How did it pan out? Opportunistic for Travis in 2023.
I feel like we took full advantage of all of that. We were given the opportunity to do a lot of construction projects and enhance and grow the business this last year. And they're almost done. They're wrapping up. So it's taken 7 months to get it done, but the home stretch is finally coming. And yeah, I like to believe that we took advantage of as many opportunities that walked in front of us as we could.
Yeah, so you really seized those opportunities. One you mentioned was a building project. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about what that included?
Yeah, so we really did 3 projects this year. We did an updated manure handling project through the barns and how we scrape pens to make things more efficient for the cow movers. We added in a new barn, half barn, 500 cow transition barn really, to help provide better treatments of our fresh cows and our pre-fresh cows, allow them a stronger opportunity to really get on their feet and get going well. And then we built a new feed pad. Mm-hmm. Our old feeding area is about 200 to 300 cows too small, and we got another 200 cows coming. So it was really taxed and starting to fall apart. So we built a brand new feed pad.
So 3 big opportunities that all involved some changes to your day-to-day and some investment, some construction. So you mentioned the first one was changing the way that you scrape pens to be more efficient in that regard. So what did that look like?
So that required a lot of moving of cattle around. So we could come through, cut out a lot of concrete, and put in new flume lines so we can scrape the pens, or scrape each pen only halfway. Instead of scraping the far end of the barn all the way to the middle, now we only have to scrape each pen halfway. So it involved moving a lot of animals around, a lot of digging, a lot of concrete, a lot of trucks and excavators, and a lot of busy to get that done.
And so that opportunity to capture some efficiencies manure removal in the barn, what's that resulted in? How did that turn out into some benefits to the cows, to the employees, to less headaches for you, hopefully?
Yeah, so it's kind of created a few more headaches just in management of splitting the water the 2 directions and getting training on that to make sure we don't plug things up and cause messes. But the real opportunity on the cow mover side was, with this new barn being built, meant another milking pen as well. And so the time required to get cows up and back shrunk. They got to do that like 8 or 9 minutes faster per group. So being able to get everything cleaned in that much quicker and effectively is where the real gains were. And that has allowed us now to milk an extra, at the end of the day, 500 animals. Some of the other opportunities along that time were also with people, in making sure that we had the right people in place in March and April and May, so that when this barn opened up in September, October, everybody knew what to expect. Everyone was trained on how we're going to manage parlor routine, moving animals, supervisors in the parlor to help keep the flow moving. And so we had to work on that through there. And then it also provided an opportunity, as I was heavily distracted with construction, for Danielle, who was parlor manager at the time, to start grabbing in some other areas as well and start the oversight and management of them. Specifically like maternity. What happens back there with the milking equipment affects her right away, and how the cows are handled affects her right away. And will they enter the parlor nicely? Will they come in clean and ready to go? Are they going to create other issues? And so she just started little by little grabbing and bringing in more. And as I was distracted, she took over and got heavy into the details that I didn't have the time to do anymore.
Yeah. So it really turned into an opportunity for Danielle. And we talked about her role and what she's brought and value to the culture at Shiloh Dairy a few podcast episodes back. But this project really gave her an opportunity to shine. And Travis, it's interesting because you've used the word distraction of the building project. But in reality, was that also an opportunity for you to step into some of your greater strengths?
Yeah, it allowed me the opportunity to become more of an oversight manager. And, hey, I'm seeing this, can you take care of that? Hey, I'm seeing this, can you take care of that? And then to also make sure that what we're building will match our expectations and provide the quality of care that we want to have for the animals.
So did you enjoy that growth that you experienced? Because like a few years back, if you were to press the rewind button, you were very hands-on, day to day, cows, people, like all of it. So this is a big growth move and transition for you to become in that true business management position.
Yeah, it's been a big change for me as well. Absolutely. And Danielle's been great at pushing me out, if you will. I still enjoy certain activities and like working with the vets on herd check. I used to go out and walk the barns Saturdays and do some herd work out there. I've been kicked out of that Saturday job now, so I can focus on other projects or things that are going on to make sure, like, for example, the bedding dryer is running correctly. As I'm being pushed out, then Dad is also feeling the ability and relief to step back a little bit more as well. And it's kind of this, we've been doing this transition like this now for 7 years. And each year is a little bit different than the year before. And it'll continue that way for the next 5 or 6 or 7 years.
Going back to your word of opportunistic and opportunity and seeking those opportunities, it hasn't just been you that's had opportunities that have opened up. This has been a word that's really rang true for other members of your team and even of your own family.
Oh, absolutely. And part of my mission that I developed going through a personal development course is, and it's right here on the wall, so kind of two things: the mission, the drive to do more, be more, and provide more. I want to see what I can accomplish in life. Feeling down, lacking energy is not a place I want to be. Charismatic, fun, get serious, all in the same breath. To be the person who helps lift others up and sets an example of excellence to those around me. So that's kind of been my drive in doing what we're doing. And in doing so, I want to make sure that I'm energetic, bold, and generous, open to new ideas and thoughts. appreciative and thankful. Those two big words of everyone around me, so that I can create the new opportunities and inspire everyone to reach for their dreams. You need both of them to really hit it. And creating that and setting that mindset, I did this 3-4 years ago. I think has allowed me the opportunity to look out and see a little more about what's happening and how we can push and move people around and encourage.
And when you were in the position of not just being the hands-on person, but that higher level of management and oversight, do you feel like that has given you the opportunity to bring a different type of energy to being that person that encourages others and shows appreciation and gratitude in a different way? Has that elevated you being able to be more of you?
I think it has. The other thing it's also done is it's given me an appreciation for what it takes to get the job done. Having been there myself, having to do it, the long days, the hard days, the easy days, the I want to just go home and cry days, I understand them all. And I've got a level of empathy towards everyone when that happens. And always being able to say, hey, I'm not scared to jump back in and help out and do whatever needs done. Ask me and I'll be there. That's what I'm here for. Not just to write a check, but make sure that you have everything you need to complete your day and reach your goals.
Travis, as you say that, and also as you shared that personal mission that stares at you on your desk every day, it reminds me of what you talked about when we visited last year and you chose opportunistic as your word for the year. And one of the big themes that circulated around was really providing opportunities for other people to find success through what you can offer them at Shiloh Dairy. And that success isn't just when they are showing up and doing work. It's a success that transcends into being at home and being a part of the community. And so do you see how that has been a ripple effect and a greater impact and influence beyond just the way that people on the team show up at work every day?
It has, especially getting Danielle in the position she is. She treats everybody like a sister, brother, son, daughter. I mean, her ability to get people to buy into what's going on is amazing. And so that's been a huge benefit in that regard. But it's also allowed me to be able to be a part of community events and ongoings as well, in helping out with the high school and the FFA, doing the run that we put on or help put on every year, and looking towards other areas that I can give back.
Hey, take a moment and just share more about the run that you just mentioned, because when you talk about helping out, that is an understatement, because I know that you and your family and several people from Shiloh Dairy are extremely involved in spearheading and doing all of the back end work. And I'm going to back you up on you delivering on that vision for the event, because this year I was a participant in the 10K, and one of the coolest things that came from that experience was not only winning the goodie bag for my age category with some cheese skirts. That was awesome. Appreciated that. But it was when I crossed the finish line and got to try a new milk beverage called Move. And that actually ended up being another Uplevel Dairy podcast a couple of months back, where TJ Tulls and I talked about really what went into creating that new milk product and where he sees it going and how it can be a benefit to the consumer, to his dairy, but also the bigger picture of the dairy industry. So that was an awesome opportunity that came up for me personally from all of the energy and effort that you put into the vision and the creation of Kicking It with the Cows.
Yeah, so it's been a long, I wouldn't say on my end of it, it's not overly difficult until day of. I'm a lot of phone calls and is organizing people to be there for the operation side of the event. But then day before, 2 days before is when it really gets to be goes to the grindstone for me and helping out and being a part of the setup and tear down and all of that.
And how about a shout out to that awesome race director?
Yeah, she puts a lot of time and effort into it for sure. There are a lot of hours spent emails and phone calls and driving around and trying to get more sponsors and people to be a part of it and getting the word out.
And let's just note that race director also happens to be your mother, Kathy. So shout out to Kathy. She's amazing. And this is a testament of her passion as well for dairy and her high organizational skills that when you guys pull this all together, it's an incredible event for the community. And I hope more folks look forward to participating in it next year as well. It's the Kicking It With the Cows is the name of the race. It's a 10K. And do you have a date for that for next year?
It is always and I'm going to get this wrong, it's the second weekend in August.
Okay, second weekend in August in Wrightstown, Wisconsin. Awesome. So Travis, you talked a little bit going back to the mission that you shared, and what part of that was the energy that you bring into the activities you do and the way that you show up. Something you and I have had conversations about. I think we talked about this last year when we did our one word conversation and at different points in time, is I know that you were always looking to optimize your own personal health and wellness too. And so what opportunities opened up for you in the last year to be able to step into just being able to be the best version of you and your physical health and your wellness, the way that you take care of yourself? I know that's something that's really important to you too.
Yeah, it is very important to me, and it's been very lackluster, to be honest, the last 6 or 8 months. Just with long days, construction, then being home with a growing family. They're up later, more active longer, and I had to put all of that on the side burner to be with them, and it's been a struggle for me to get the new time frame set up and get my level of commitment to being there to get it done while everyone is still in bed and sleeping.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so trying to focus my waking hours more on the kids and the family, but I've given up a part of myself, if you will, on my exercise and maintaining my physical health. I still get in there from time to time and get a quick one in, but not like I used to. It needs to become a higher priority for myself.
Well, and you speak to it, so many of the rest of us also can understand and identify with, right? And that is the balance between work and business and the farm, raising kids getting busier all of the time, and not wanting to miss those moments and trying to balance that out with doing those things for our own physical health. Thank you for your honesty, because you're not the only one. And I think I know myself and a lot of others can relate to the conundrum of trying to figure out how to manage time in all of those capacities, especially with everything you've had going on at the dairy, which has been a lot.
It has been. Yeah, it just needs to be a harder focus on my part.
Yeah, well, it sounds like your focuses in other areas have really, really paid off this past year as you looked for opportunities, and they created not just opportunities for you, but so many other people around you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so, okay, so now we're looking ahead into 2024. Do you have a word for 2024, Travis?
Looking into 2024, I want to maintain what we've been doing and continue to hold what we've started in creating the culture that we've got and creating the buy-in and everything that we've been done. And so my word for 2024 is consistency. I want to remain consistent with how we have been treating people, with how we have been holding the level of accountability high for everyone. The consistency in how we're treating the animals and how they've responded, continue that trend and continue to push down that particular path.
Ooh, that's a good one. And I think it speaks also to just the growth that you've had personally, professionally, the growth of other people in the business over the past year, and getting to a point where you can say we're doing well in so many areas. Let's keep it going, right? And so, okay, so when you think about So you know that I'm going to be bugging you a year from now, and I'm going to say, Travis, it's the end of 2024. How did things go? What do you want to be sharing a year from now? What's your vision for how consistency will transform Shiloh Dairy? Travis, what do you see that looking like in the next year?
So I'm hoping for this next year that it brings the chance for lower turnover, that the people who are here stay here, that they feel happy, confident, comfortable in their treatments, in the work, in their pay. We keep a consistent level of staffing all the way through. But again, we also have to make sure that we maintain the level of culture and buy-in, and if that's not there, we need to make sure we hold that to account. And if it does mean we have to trade a few people to make sure we continue that, we need to make sure we continue on that consistent path as well. And on a personal note, just making sure that I'm consistent within myself, just how I interact with everyone, how I interact with my family, and take care of myself. Bring that commitment level to be consistent, to be what I need to be every day.
Well, that's a great vision for the year ahead. So when you look at the farm side and you talk about, just being able to maintain the culture and the relationships and the performance of employees that you have right now, what's it going to take to be consistent in that area?
Ooh, that's, at this point, it means continuing to hold accountabilities high. Like, no, this is the standard. We will work to this standard. And doing so in a nice way, positive way, not a negative, do this or else. Continue to hold the level high. Continue to provide training and resources to grow and learn about why we need to do it the way we are, and the understanding. That also provides a comfort level for our professionals that work with us, that they know, all right, there's an understanding coming in for this. We have training scheduled for this. We're working towards here. Everyone knows what to expect when they walk through the door.
Yeah, and that word expectation, it really lines up well with consistency, doesn't it?
It does, yes, very much so. And we're learning the hard way on what it means to set expectation. How detailed you have to get on it.
What do you mean by that?
Just making sure that, for example, protocols, they're written and posted, and training right down to the last period. That every T is observed and every I is observed, crossed and dotted, and everyone knows, all right, on Monday we have to do, on Tuesday we have to do, Wednesday we have to do, and not allowing for drifts. And when there are issues, bring it up now, not in a week or 2 weeks when it's overwhelming and you can't handle it anymore. But hey, we're seeing something start, pay attention, help me pay attention.
Yeah. So consistency is clarity also, and accountability, as you mentioned.
There's a lot that goes into consistency, and it's not a small word. In order to have that consistency, you need a lot of other bigger words around it to create it.
This is an exciting and excellent focus for Shiloh Dairy and for you going into 2024. And really, it being at the point of consistency is a hats off to what happened in 2023. And that was being true to the opportunities that presented themselves, the opportunities that you created and pursued, and the opportunities that led to for so many other people. And, when we talk about leadership, it starts at the top and it's leading by example. So congratulations and kudos to you, Travis, on an awesome 2023.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, really, at the end of the day, be true to who you are. And whether you've got a one word or a phrase or a particular passion you like to live by, be true to yourself.
You just heard from Travis Speirs at Shiloh Dairy in Brillion, Wisconsin, and how the word opportunistic shaped 2023 and brought opportunities, not just for his personal growth, but also the growth of the dairy, the growth of leaders on his team, and the impact on the community. Can't wait to hear how consistency pays off for Travis in 2024. Tune in tomorrow to hear from Eliza Ruzick and hear how her one word, perseverance, took on a multifaceted meaning over the past 12 months and what's in store in the year ahead. I'm Peggy Coffeen, and thank you for listening to the Uplevel Dairy Podcast. If you want to get these podcasts delivered straight to your inbox, head over to upleveldairy.com and join the Uplevel Dairy community and be the first to know when new episodes drop. Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Dairy Podcast.